And now is the time when things are shifting. There's gonna be a new world order out there. And we've got to lead it.
True international depression.
Who are fake news?
I am not suicidal.
We'll circle back with you directly. If I can circle back, I'll circle back with you.
Do not come. Do not come.
I'm gonna come.
Hello and welcome to episode 268 of the Jeffrey and Brian Show. I am Jeffrey.
And I'm Brian.
And there's two guys drinking some beers, talking about what's going on. Well, not a super busy week. And I tried to avoid the big topic that's been everywhere because wildfires happen on the regular in California, but it's all that's been in my newsfeed this week.
Well, not
So we'll
everything. What about Jimmy Carter?
True, a little bit of the Jimmy Carter stuff. Well, that was last week. Really, what happened with Jimmy Carter is his memorial service happened where Joe Biden fell asleep.
He fell asleep?
He did. He fell asleep, and Jill had to nudge him to wake him up. Michelle Obama didn't show up, which, I mean, she wasn't obligated to go, but you still think she would have, right?
Yeah, and I heard Trump and Obama had a very civil conversation for a few minutes.
Yeah, I believe that. I don't know. I don't think that these guys hate each other nearly as much as they want everyone to think they do, but
Even
whatever.
Pence talked to Trump. His wife didn't, but Pence did.
Yeah, Pence really blew that. Like in general, he might have been able to be VP again, and if he did, he might have been able to get the presidency later. But he pretty
Yeah.
much ended his political career by taking a dump on Trump.
Mm-hmm. He could have done the same thing without doing it the way he did it, you know?
Yeah, exactly. He didn't have to be a douchebag about it. But we're not going to get into that. We've talked about what happened with that 4 years ago. So the dock worker union managed to avert a strike again.
Right.
So we'll see how that works out because we were just talking about how that lined up. Oh, excuse me. When they did this last time, we were talking how they're gonna go right back on strike just as Biden was leaving office.
Yep.
I still say fire all these guys and replace it with machines, but let's ban the internet so we can keep the libraries alive, right? Fucking Luddites. Okay, did you see this shit about two of these death row inmates?
Yes, I shared this article.
Yeah, they
and they have a legitimate reason for doing what they're doing.
Yes, they refused to sign the paperwork to have their sentences commuted to life in prison versus death. And I was like, what the hell? And well, yeah, what is their reasoning?
Because when someone's on death row, they're giving more leeway in appeals and stuff like that. Where if they agreed to this agreement, they don't have those same avenues open to them anymore.
Yeah, exactly. They would have already used all of their appeals at this point and would have to serve life in prison, and they swear their innocence.
Right.
Could you imagine making that decision that you're not going to sign the paperwork? That's a lot of faith in the legal system to get it right after they've already sentenced you to death.
Yeah, I don't have a whole lot of faith in the legal system. I was listening to the Joe Rogan show. I don't know exactly when it was recorded, but because I don't typically listen to him on a regular basis, but there was one that intrigued me to listen to a little bit, and that was the former Illinois governor, Rod Blagojevich.
Okay.
He was on the Joe Rogan show. Trump pardoned him when he was in office last time. He served 8 years in federal prison for in his words, for doing nothing wrong, just not rolling over on Obama and caving in on against the Department of Justice.
All right. Yeah, well, why did you listen to that? Like, what about that particular episode that made you want to listen to it? That
Well, I didn't listen to the whole
particular
thing, but I listened to part of it, you know. I mean, it just it was it was. I know that he went through that. I know he was a Democrat. That this all happened when he was the actual sitting governor. And if you went with what the mainstream media had to say about it, you would say he was worse than a pedophile. According to them.
Well,
So
yeah, which is fascinating because every time the Dems try to stop something, it's always a sex scandal. I'm sure you've noticed.
yeah,
Um, but they went ahead and voted to let these sex offender or illegal migrants stay in the country.
of course.
So, like, what? I thought this was like the worst thing ever, and then they like, unless you're here illegally, then it's okay.
Right.
Uh, Speaking of sex scandals, though, remember the Pizzagate thing?
Yeah, yeah. I shared this article too because we
You
talked about
did,
Pizzagate. You
and
know.
geez, that was a long time ago, wasn't
Yeah, yeah. Hillary
it?
was
Well,
still relevant back then.
was she ever really relevant? Except when well, I guess Secretary of State still, even if she was a piece of garbage, still mattered.
Yeah.
And she was a senator too, wasn't she?
Yep. Yep.
With zero qualifications besides her husband liked to get BJ's in the White House
Right.
from women who weren't his wife. Um, well, he's been shot dead by police in North Carolina. The dude, anyway, that went up to DC and fired into the pizza shop.
Right.
Um, yeah, for anyone who doesn't remember Pizzagate, there was this theory that this pizza parlor was being used as a pedophile ring. That didn't turn into anything. Uh, I don't. I liked how everyone was making the arguments like this stuff's not real. None of this stuff ever really happens. And then Lolita Express going to Epstein's Island comes up, which I don't know. Maybe they were booking flights through this pizza shop. I don't know. I That's just possible what was going on. But yeah, dude got pulled over at a traffic stop and pulled a gun on the cops, and well, that was the end of that.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Did he serve time in prison?
I don't know.
I don't remember, honestly. It was so long ago. You would think if you fired guns in DC into a pizza shop, you'd be serving time in prison.
Yeah.
So true. Trudeau's not running for office again, and not only that, he's going to step down as soon as his party can find a replacement for himself.
Eventually.
Yes. I just think that's hilarious because Trump's not even in office yet, and he's already getting Canada to change out their prime minister.
Right.
Well, he was like, Trump says to him something like, what could I do to cripple your economy? And Trudeau says, well, I suppose you could put a giant tariff on everything, especially the auto industry. And Trump was like, okay, number one, never answer that question. And number two, I'm going to put a giant tariff on everything, especially the auto industry. Now, see, the thing about making Canada state, I think you would have to split it up into several states, or else you would just have a giant liberal voting bloc with a whole bunch of electoral votes for the Dems.
Definitely.
So, like, just absorbing Canada as one state's a bad idea for Trump
Definitely.
anyway. Yeah, we've been expecting this though. We've been talking about this for a couple of weeks, hinting on it. We haven't really covered it a whole lot, but we've definitely been saying that Trudeau's on the way out. So I guess that's the end of the Castro regime in Canada. All right, and the plea deal that was shut that they tried to shut down, and then the court said you're not allowed to shut it down. Now the court went ahead and put a pause on it for the 9/11 mastermind. Um, leave what leaving Guantanamo Bay or something like that, or
Yeah.
taking the death sentence off the table or something. What a mess that is. We'll see where that goes. It's been 23 years, so I don't expect much to happen one way or the other at this point. All right. All right, check this out, man. If you look up in the night sky this entire month, right after dusk, before dark, There are 4 planets that you can see aligned in the sky. Very cool. If you have a telescope, you can see 6 of them, which is like,
Huh.
yeah, not a common thing. Which I expected to see something from all these weird astrology people online talking about it, but I haven't seen anything about it. Maybe they don't pay as much attention to this crap as I thought they did. Hmm. And NASA's at the same time, speaking of these planets, NASA's trying to change its plan on how to bring soil back from Mars that the Mars rover has been collecting for years.
Right. They have no clue.
Yeah, I, I don't know. I don't know what we're expecting to happen, but it's going to be dirt, and
Will we
I
even be
bet you,
alive by the time the soil gets back to Earth?
yeah, it's only a couple of years to get back from. I think they said something like a round trip to Mars in 6 years. It's like 2 years to get there, then 4 years to get back because the
Okay.
planets, like Mars has to go around. The Earth has to go. The Earth has to go around the sun an entire time and come back to Mars.
Okay.
Either that or you have to go all the way around the sun chasing after the Earth. You know what I mean? But I don't. Does the rover have a way to take off? Like, do they have to go get this thing and bring it back, or does it have technology to get off the ground already up there? I don't know.
You would think they would have had this all figured out before they launched or all that.
I didn't know it was collecting samples until I read this article. I thought it was just up there taking pictures and like mapping the surface, you know? So,
No, I knew it was
right.
collecting samples, but I didn't know if it was like scanning the samples and sending the
And
data back,
yeah, analyzing it
or
itself. Yeah. I bet you it's mostly dirt with high iron content. That's why the planet has a red hue as the rust, but that's just a guess. Okay, so we're gonna annex Canada. We're gonna buy Greenland. We're gonna take back the Panama Canal, and now Trump wants to rename the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America.
yeah, not to the Gulf of the United States, but Gulf of
Yes.
America.
Well, it's Mexico is an American nation. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
North America.
yeah,
Uh,
they're part of North
the Mex
America.
Yeah, and the Mexican president had something stupid to say, like maybe we should call the United States
I don't
Mexico
know.
America.
I
And
didn't
it's
pay
like, what?
much attention to it.
It's like Mexico wouldn't exist if it wasn't for the United States right now.
Right.
Like, where would they be selling all their drugs? You know what I mean? Uh, and what the hell is going on in Virginia? You guys have your gun crime out of control over there.
Well, I don't know. I mean, people like to carry
Yeah,
guns in Virginia.
this everyone here has a gun too, but they're not shooting each other. And yes,
Well,
well,
he wasn't shot. He had a gun in the church. So,
well, see, that's what when I read the headline, I was like, that seems stupid. That's not necessarily illegal. There's a preschool in the church,
right.
so that
That's what makes it
kind of
legal.
makes sense, I guess. Uh, and then, well, we talked about this Rich Neck shooting. I'm sure you remember that, right?
Yeah.
When the teacher got shot through the hand and in the chest or
Hmm.
something by a kindergartner?
Yes, kindergartner.
Yeah, what's up with her?
Well, she's suing the city of Newport News and the school district. They were trying to say it should be filed under workman's comp, and she's saying that workman's comp doesn't pay long enough or gonna really sustain her for the rest of her life. So she is pursuing another legal matter. The courts in Virginia said she's allowed to do it that way, so that's what's going on with it. Um,
Well, isn't she back to work already?
no,
I
she's
thought
never
she
going
was.
back to be a teacher again.
But that's so what there was a workplace incident, so now I should never have to work again.
I don't know that she can work. She's got PTSD from the situation, and I don't think she could walk inside a classroom if she wanted to.
And there's other stuff you can do, but all right, I guess. Mm, we'll see where that goes. I don't know how Virginia does on these kinds of things, especially with Youngkin in charge, but I don't know.
Well, the
We'll
only
find out.
person that's been charged so far in this matter is the 6-year-old's mother, and she is currently serving a federal prison sentence in West Virginia for drug-related crimes.
Oh, geez.
And then
Of
what?
course, there's a lot of drugs in West Virginia. That's for damn Skippy.
Well, she got the drugs. She had the drugs in Virginia. They found weed when they searched her house, and
And
she got the Hunter Biden treatment because she said she wasn't on weed. She wasn't on any substances when she filled out her application for her gun. So
so then they threw away the charges.
no, the other charges are pending and will take place after after she's out for. Oh no, she's already been charged. The other charge she's got is felony child neglect. So once her
Yes.
federal sentence concludes in March, she's going to begin serving her state prison sentence here in Virginia on felony child neglect.
Is the father in the picture? Do you know?
I don't think so. I don't know.
Yeah,
He's never
so
talked about in any of these stories. So,
I've noticed that. So was this kid in state custody or something?
or custody of a parent or a grandparent. I mean,
Yeah, possibly. Well, speaking of guns in West Virginia, uh, West Virginia is going to be opening up a $14 million gun range. Place is nuts. I had to look at not the actual physical building. I read this article and looked through everything in it.
mhm.
It's got it's got a whole bunch of like 25-yard ranges for handguns, a bunch of 100-yard ranges for rifles. They have 3D moving targets for the archery range.
Wow.
There's a pro shop on site that you can like maintain, purchase, clean, maintenance, whatever your weapons, and a restaurant. So you can, and there's a country club membership you can get, or you can just show up and pay your fee to use the range. If it wasn't like 3 hours away from me, I would definitely check it out.
Right.
But that's kind of it's a state of the art, like nothing this huge, nothing this scale has been built before for sport shooting. It's something you would expect to see in a very wealthy area, you know.
Mm.
But they got some big investors, and they said, "Hey, West Virginia's the place to do this because people love their guns in West Virginia." Uh, and a what's this guy's name? This boo, 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 boo. There we go. The West Virginia Attorney General Patrick Morrissey was is a co-leader of a 6-state coalition,
Okay.
and they are the ones that beat Biden's Title IX changes concerning equal resources to men's and women's sports and in schools.
Hmm.
And so now at least West Virginia, Ohio, and 4 other states are allowed to go ahead and say, nope, you're a man, you cannot compete as a woman
Good.
in college sports. So that's pretty badass.
Yeah.
That's probably going to end up going federal once it goes through all the entire process.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Maura Healey is the
Yes.
Boston mayor. I keep wanting to say Kathy Hochul.
Right. No, she's the governor of New York.
Yeah, and I keep going. I know it's not Hochul. What? Why do I? They both start with an H, I guess, and they're both women. Uh, well, the subways in New York are becoming a real freaking issue.
Oh yeah.
Um,
That's why the guardian angels are riding the trains again.
yeah, and Hochul was finally trying to do something about it because she was swearing to everyone it was safe and like which is obviously why you're putting national guardsmen down on the subway.
Right.
But she even made a video of her riding the train. Like, look how safe it is. Like, yeah, you have armed
All
security all
right.
around you,
She's
lady.
got security with her. She's the governor of New York State.
But she's got she's looking to expand the involuntary commitment to like health facilities.
Mm-hmm.
And this is something that bothered me because you keep hearing this mental health issue come up every time there's a shooting,
Right.
but no one ever does anything about it. So
Of course not.
maybe they will start committing people because uh, that's always the argument when something goes down, especially in the subway. Like, oh, well, the guy's just sick. He needs help. It's like, dude shot people. The guy stabbed people, you know?
Right.
How many people got thrown it? We kept count of it last year for a while, didn't we? How many people were thrown in front of the trains?
Mm-hmm.
Jeez Louise, they got into double digits. Well, there's one dude who's been accused of stabbing two people 2 days in a row in the train system of New York City, has been arrested.
Good.
He has been arrested 87 times. But New
Wow.
York's catch and release policy keeps putting this guy back on the street.
Right. That'd be a George Soros DA policy.
That's exactly what that is. And we've discussed how this is starting to fall apart in a lot of states. Why do you let these guys right back out? But with this bail reform thing they're doing, oh, just show up for court in a week. Then they stab someone else. Like, show up for court in a week. It's like, what the fuck? At some point you have to keep these guys until trial, But we'll see if that ever gets updated. I know the citizens of New York are getting real upset about the safety on the buses, trains. And actually, that crazy broad that I mentioned to you that I was trying to get to come on the show that won't respond to me. Was saying how being like sexually assaulted on the subway is a normal thing that just happens, and we just have to accept it because these people are sick and need help. It's like I don't know where you are, lady, but like that's not something the rest of us just expect to happen,
Right.
All right. Well, and now they've arranged Sebastian Zapata. He's the dude who set that lady on fire on the subway. Dear God, dude, I avoid New York City anyway.
Mm-hmm.
No way I'll get on that fucking subway though.
Not
No way.
anymore.
Here's the best part is one of these liberal activists who was pushing for the high congestion taxes, like just driving in New York City during certain times or on certain
They got
roads.
that through because it's in place as of the first of the year.
Yes. Well, she was trying to force people onto public transit, and she was assaulted on the subway or at a subway stop and went and called the police and everything. Had the guy arrested right away. This is a little bit of karma here. You're pushing everyone to the subway and they're getting attacked, and you're saying, no, it's perfectly safe.
Right.
I got a good laugh. I almost brought this up a while ago with this women math. Did you hear that hum?
No.
Oh, that's crazy. I think my heat turned on and it caused some kind of interference on my computer and came through my headphones like a hum. But Hochul was saying how it was going to be like $900 or whatever, I don't know, toll. And then she, reduced it down to 500 for like, I don't know, whatever the year or whatever. That's what it would cost you in a year.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, see, look, I just saved you $400. It's like, no, bitch, you're charging me 500. Right?
Right.
It's like if you saved me $400 by doing this, then I'll just drive every day, make $400 a year. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I bought all this stuff because it was on sales, but you don't need any of it. Well, I saved all this money. No, you didn't save money. You still spent money. All right. I tried to avoid this fire thing because, as I
How are you
mentioned,
going to avoid it?
just not even talk about it because wildfires happen in California every now and then. And we know this because they refuse to do the underbrush maintenance and clean out the forest floor. And they claim it's green to leave the stuff sitting there to burn down.
Mm-hmm.
But California's on fire. There's, I think, 3 wildfires going. And what's her name? Bass? Is it Bass or Bass? The mayor of LA.
She just got back from South Africa, so
Yeah, she was in Ghana.
for inauguration.
Yeah, well, they were saying it's like a political thing. I was like, why does the mayor of Los Angeles need to be in Ghana for her job? Like, that seems a little strange to me, but all right. But she's getting ripped apart for being useless.
Well, obviously she
Wasn't,
is.
yeah, well, yeah. I mean, look at Los Angeles in general. And she put out a tweet in 2021. Quote, Ted Cruz fleeing Texas in the middle of a deadly crisis is part of a larger pattern of the GOP abandoning folks in crisis. We need to build a movement to kick them all out. So, but she's claiming that this isn't the same thing. But she went and did the same thing.
Right.
She's worthless. Tons of celebrity homes are being destroyed. Which, hey, maybe some of these celebrities will finally move out of the United States now that the houses are burned down. And while Biden is talking about this California fire and not taking questions on it, he's telling everyone how about his great grandkid being
Yeah,
born.
he's so proud of that.
And I understand that, but like your job, that's not part of your job, is to tell everyone about this. And I get that's, exciting for you. But there's 10,000 people without homes right now because of this. And did you see this professor at Mizzou? I'm gonna take
No.
that as a no. She said that James Woods, you know who James Woods
Yeah.
is, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, she said that his house burning down was possibly karma. Because he's a conservative. And I was like, if that's true, then what about the 9,999 other people that live in Los Angeles that houses burned down that voted Democrat?
Mhm.
It's like, is that karma too?
Fires
So
don't care about politics.
no, well, she's lost her job over this, which I don't know if she should necessarily be fired for it, but it's definitely a stupid thing to say. And okay, I think I might have an audio thing in here about this. I'm not sure if there's a video or not.
Okay.
Of course, it wants to take this stuff loads up so fast when I'm sitting on my couch upstairs writing these, organizing all this stuff. Then I go to, oh, there it is. All right, hold up. I bet there's a commercial. Yep, it's loading the ad right now. But uh, an anchor in Los Angeles quote debunked the claims about the water running out for the firefighters.
Okay.
Like, oh, that's not happening. We haven't heard any of this. And then they cut to live breaking news of a reporter saying, the water just shut off. There's no water coming out.
Hmm.
Hold on a second. Here we go. Oh, geez. I got no sound, of course. Why
Did you
don't I have
share sound?
sound? Huh?
Did you share sound?
Oh, it's okay. I hit the wrong button to unmute it.
Former LA mayoral candidate and real estate developer Rick Caruso criticizing the city's response to the windstorm and fires. He says officials should have been more prepared.
The real issue to me is twofold. We've had decades to go remove the brush in these hills that spreads so quickly. And the second is you got to have water. And my understanding is the reservoir was not refilled in time and in a timely manner to keep the hydrants going. So that's a failure whether on DWP's part or another city agency. But this is basic stuff. This isn't high science here. And it's all about leadership and management that we're seeing a failure of. And all of these residents are paying the ultimate price for that.
Despite what you have heard from Caruso, no firefighters have told us that they are running out of water.
And let's go out to Gigi Graciette. She is live in Pacific Palisades. I know your signal's not the best, but Gigi, what can you tell us?
Well, firefighters have told me they have no water on this block, and you may be able to make out the embers storm that we're in the middle of right now. This house going to be a total loss. They have no.
Yeah. So, oh yeah, there's no issue with the water. Don't listen to the Republican who ran against the mayor. He's full of shit. Live news. There's no water to put out the fire.
Apparently, the federal government set aside a ton of money for California to build more reservoirs like 10 years ago, and they never did anything with the money. They didn't use it to build more reservoirs. California's gotten more rain in the last year than they gotten like in the last 5 to 10 years,
It's
and
running out to the
90%
ocean.
of the water is going into the ocean because they've got no way to contain it.
Well, and yeah, one big argument they made about the making more reservoirs was how it was going to cause an issue with the salmon. And it's like
And
adding
the smell, because they've taken out dams too recently to help the fish get moved back and forth up the rivers.
The problem is, like, I understand this protect the environment thing, but when you worry about one species and not the entire ecosystem, you cause other problems as you solve problems.
Yeah.
Like for a prime example is the desalination plants that they use. They bring the water in from the ocean. They get the brine out of it, so you get up to like ultra dense salty water that they go and pour back into the ocean, and then that sinks to the bottom and it kills the seafloor, which then everything above that in the food chain is affected because of that. And just this isn't stuff people think about. They just I don't know. Maybe they need to somehow let this brine dry out into a natural, just flat out salt, and then replace it in the ocean, or I don't know. But
they're putting it on our food.
Yeah, sea salt. People do season with sea salt, though, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
And they put it in their bathtubs and their foot baths too.
Yeah.
But yeah, exactly. They didn't refill the reservoir. They just ignored all this stuff, saying, "Well, there's no fire now." Trump brought this up 6 years ago and said, "This is going to happen if you guys don't do this stuff." And they said, "You're a nut job. You just want to waste our money."
Yeah.
So instead of, they cut the fire budget by $17 million in California.
Yeah, but they had money. They spent that money on better things.
Yes, they put it into gay choirs, trans cafes, and social justice art.
Right.
So,
and apparently, I heard on the No Agenda show that the fire department also donated some of their surplus gear to Ukraine.
yeah. Terrific.
Maybe it wasn't so surplus after all.
Well, the thing is, these Dems don't think long term. They see short term benefit and not what's going to benefit them in the long term. That's why they always want to do these quick fixes that are like, oh, let's just give everyone a ton of money. It's like, that's going to collapse the economy. you know, it's like, oh, no, it'll be fine. It's like, oh, look, no one's at work for a year and a half because of COVID. I wonder why there's no money left,
Yeah.
All right. So Guapo should be showing up here in a second.
Yep.
I actually kind of want to wait for him to finally load all the way up because I want to hear what he has to say about this. I want to know what he thinks a trans cafe is because I am a little confused by this.
I have no idea what a trans cafe is.
Ooh,
Fancy man beer.
Cut his hair and trimmed his beard, looking
most
good.
Most people do that during the summertime when it's hot.
I know. I've been growing a beard because it's cold out. All right, you're muted.
Your muted microphone's all messed up, and you're muted.
Can you guys hear me?
Now we can.
All right. My issue is I like to take a shower in the morning to wake me up, and it takes a while to all the hair to dry and so I don't want
It does suck to go out into the cold when your beard is still wet. That is
your
sure.
Your hair.
It's been cold enough lately when we're going out to work where it'll freeze, because it's been below freezing. So
I've had that happen a couple times here already. Actually, pulling ice out of my beard, like.
So yeah, that's why you know what? Let me just keep it short. At least it's dry quicker, and I don't have to worry about it.
So Ray, what is a trans cafe?
Oh, is it like coffee or cafe? Is it like a decaf wannabe coffee?
Well,
that's
the LA City spent money on it instead of giving it to the fire department. So,
Oh shit.
I'm pretty sure it's a coffee house that turns away cisgendered people, but I don't know.
They're not.
But
That's
yeah,
all.
they the money that they didn't spend on the fire department, they went and put into gay choirs, trans cafes, and social justice artwork.
What?
So
and they gave their surplus gear to the Ukrainians.
I not heard about that shit. That shit's the dumbest thing. You know what? You voted for this. You fucking voted for this.
I
And
agree with you. And anyone who didn't vote for it, these conservatives like James Woods that live out there, you should
yeah,
have got the
sorry.
fuck out when you had the chance, right?
Hell yeah.
James Woods just lost his house out there.
Yeah, I mean,
I heard an interview with Adam Carolla, I believe it was.
I
And
did too.
they asked him, why in the hell you still live here? He's like,
yeah.
I bought property in Henderson, Nevada. I'm leaving here. I'm going out there to do some podcasts, and I'm going to talk to my architects about getting this shit going, where I'm getting the hell out of here.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about when he was trying to be a firefighter in California.
Oh, yeah, I heard that too. Yeah. They
Yeah.
told him, come
Yeah.
back in 7 years.
Well, yeah, they call him 7 years later. He's like, well, we don't need white men right now. And he's like, what? So
When
then he
was
finally
this?
gets,
This is early 2000, no? Like early
this is
Yeah.
a
late
while ago.
90s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he was standing in line next to an African American / black woman, and he asked her when she applied to be a fire person.
Wednesday.
Yeah, on Wednesday.
Yeah. She said Wednesday. And he's like, oh, I did 7 years ago.
Mm.
He's like, there's my white privilege for you.
Yeah.
Well, the fire chief, who, by the way, the top 4 people in the chain of command in the Los Angeles Fire Department
DI.
are all women, which maybe you can do the job, but how did you work your way up? How did they all happen to be women when 5% of the fire department is women?
Well, I can say the mayor
Which was
get elected.
the issue that
The mayor by default, like, she got elected. So
Well, she was in the running to be vice president instead of Kamala Harris.
Oh damn! All right,
Imagine how good the government would have been with her in charge instead of Kamala.
we
oh my
dodge.
God.
We dodge a wildfire.
She's worse than Kamala Harris.
We dodge a wildfire with that one.
Well, the LA fire chief is praising or getting praise for saying that quote, proving lesbians get it done, as the wildfires in California right now are 0% contained.
How are they getting
So
it done if it's at 0%?
yeah, they're so proud of this.
Yeah, you get it done.
Like, yeah, they're getting nothing done.
It needs a man to finish it off.
Yeah. And now this dude in ABC News, or maybe is it a dude or a woman? Muir?
It's a man. It's
That's
their.
the guy that interviewed Trump. No, like
He was he did the debate. He was like one of the moderators for the ABC
moderator.
debate.
All right.
Yeah, same
Well,
guy.
he's being ripped apart because he had a firefighting ensemble, an FFE, form fitted for him. So, he looks good.
Yeah.
And it's like,
He had clothespins on it.
oh my God, dude. Like, well, and you got the gear on. Go fight a fucking fire, right?
Apparently, all the reporters, that's all the great wardrobe these days. They're all wearing the firefighting gear.
That makes your reporter have to wear firefighter gear.
Yeah.
I mean, I can see if you don't want to get hit by a car, reflect the best. Okay, that's plenty.
Yeah. Well, I saw this come across one of the YouTube videos I watched, how DEI can create a stronger fire department, and it took me 20 minutes to find the actual video of it versus trying to clip it out of the video I was watching. But listen to this shit, dude.
Diversity, equity, and inclusion, or DEI, are more than just words. They represent a framework for creating fair and equitable environments in the fire service where everyone has a seat at the table. But what do these concepts truly mean, and how do they work together to build stronger fire departments? Diversity is the foundation. It's about recognizing and embracing the different backgrounds, perspectives, and experiences that make up a community. In the fire service, this means having a workforce that reflects the community it serves, bringing in different ideas, approaches, and solutions to solve complex problems. But diversity alone isn't enough. Equity ensures that all members of the team have equal access to opportunities, resources, and support. Unlike equality, where everyone gets the same thing, equity recognizes that people have different needs and works to provide what they require to succeed. In practice, equity means addressing systemic barriers and providing personalized tools and resources to help each individual thrive. Whether it's hiring practices or access to training and development, equity creates an environment where everyone can grow and achieve success. Inclusion, the ultimate goal, is about creating a culture where every team member feels valued, respected, and supported. It's not just about being part of the team. It's about belonging. Inclusion ensures that diverse voices are heard, respected, and considered in decision-making. It fosters an environment where individuals can be their authentic selves without fear of exclusion or discrimination. Together, diversity, equity, and inclusion form the pillars of a stronger, more effective fire department.
Okay, first of all, they said they want everyone to be their authentic selves. Fuck you. You're paid to do a job, not be your authentic. You can be your authentic self at home. Okay?
Yeah.
That's where you can pick your nose, you can have halitosis, you can smell like farts, you know? And America is not great because of its diversity. America is diverse because of its greatness. It is attracted many people from around the world to come here because we have such greatness. We didn't become great because of our diversity. As a matter of fact, bringing all these Africans into the United States way back in the day wasn't actually a great thing, was it? Because they were slaves. And they're talking about like everyone should get a fair shot, not just a fair shot, but be helped to advance. Motherfucker, if I'm in a burning building and 100-pound 5'6", 5'5" woman in a fucking wheelchair comes to pull me out of that fire, I'm like, oh great, we're all gonna die. I want a 6'5", ripped, glistening, masculine dude to throw me over the shoulder. And go, don't worry, little buddy, I got you. You know what I mean?
Like, this is why you do push-ups all day.
Oh my god! Yeah, and they're turning away all the people that actually want to do this job to make sure that they get these other folks in the job that aren't putting the fire out. It's infuriating. And this is something we talked about a long time ago, the women in the fire department, because for a long time, the women only had to carry a 25-pound sack of sand instead of the 100-pound sack of sand because, oh, women are smaller. Well, bitch, I'm not going to get smaller because there's a woman trying to drag me out of a fire, And I actually saw this one video of this, one of the important ladies in the department saying how, and any man who's worried about a small woman carrying you out of the fire, you got yourself in a bad situation if I had to come rescue you. It's like, bitch, it is a bad situation. Then your job is to rescue me.
Yeah, I saw that shit. Like, what the fuck you got this job for, then?
And hey, okay, I can't remember where. I was in somewhere in Asia, and I'm not a particularly tall man. I'm 5'10", average-ish. And I noticed I could look over the heads of everyone there. Just the way it is. And then I was up in Norway, maybe, and the women were a foot taller than me, And I was like, okay, if that woman wants to drag me out of a fire, I'm pretty sure she can. She's a monster. If we're getting 6'2" women to do this job, that you know what I mean, that are just giant, awesome, great. I have no problem with that. But if you're sending in the small Cambodian woman to help, I mean, that just becomes a liability that someone else is going to have to go in there and take her out too.
Yeah.
And I know it sounds like we're sexist and racist, but you can't hire people based upon. It's sexist and racist to hire people based upon those characteristics instead of their ability to do the job. Just like the whole Adam Carolla thing, waited 7 years to get a call back, whereas the black woman applied Wednesday and she's in line filling out paperwork.
So how are the feds going to cover 100% of the fire response costs in California?
I don't know, but I'm furious because when a hurricane ripped through Trump country, people were offered $750 and their houses were skipped over by FEMA. but now Biden is saying that we're going to cover 100% of the fire response.
Yeah, that's insane.
Why is that my responsibility in terms of my taxes? Because California fucked up and misappropriated their funds. Because they were, like you said, they were given money to handle this stuff. And they're like, nah. We're more worried about fucking painting our fire hydrants rainbow colored than making sure water actually comes out of them. Oh my God. Could you imagine if they told these people, like, oh, you can apply for $750? Like, bitch, my house is worth $10 million on the Pacific coast. Like, it doesn't matter. You get $750. So I don't know. Maybe some of these celebrities will finally leave the country now that their multi-million-dollar homes worth, you know what I mean, that are half acre are gone.
What if, dude? Like, I heard a story that they broke. They just don't know how to manage their money. This is why Harrison Ford is still doing movies, because he's broke.
Yeah,
And
Jim Carrey's back, is doing movies again now, or he's
yeah,
about to start doing movies again because he's out of money.
yeah, he retired like a while ago, and luckily he got back with Sonic. I mean, he's awesome in the movie Sonic. He's perfect for that role. But
Yeah,
I still,
he was the bad guy, Doctor whatever.
Yeah, egg or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
you know what though? He was terrifying as the Grinch.
Nah, he was good. I think he was good.
No. I meant like when they made the Grinch out of a person instead of like animated.
Yeah,
it was terrifying.
Really good. Yeah, he really good. People don't realize like that's the Grinch. Like that, that's Jim Carrey. Like what? No way. Like yeah, look it up. And it's like they get shocked, surprised at Jim Carrey.
And it's funny because all the stuff that Jim Carrey's most known for, he hates now. Like he was famous for being an anti-vaxxer. Him and Jenny McCarthy, and now he's like, you guys are all a bunch of evil people for not getting the vaccine. The stuff he did with Ace Ventura. Well, the football, the place kicker was a man, but then became a lady cop, and was like, oh, look at this giant hemorrhoid case, which is his dick tucked under his ass, or whatever.
Yeah, but it's just because of political, that's all. If it wasn't for it, he would not care.
Well, excellent move there, bringing up that and Jim Carrey into Ace Ventura with the football place kicker. Laces out, Dan. Because some crazy stuff's going on in the NFL, and we don't typically talk sports too much on this show. But the NFL has been the center of a lot of controversy lately, to include accusing referees of rigging games.
Yeah.
Okay, well, because of these fires, the Vikings-Rams playoff game has moved away from Los Angeles.
So now no team has home field advantage.
Yeah, which, well, not much you can do with that, really.
No.
But did you see that the Vikings bought hundreds of tickets to the game in Detroit against the Lions?
Yeah, those tickets were bet. They eventually, I think we talked about this on the last show, but yeah, there's been photos of that game put out where they said they bought the tickets, and there were very few Vikings fans in the stands. A lot of people that were Vikings fans bought the tickets cheaply and then resold them again back to Detroit fans to make money on them.
Yeah. Well, the idea was that they would take away home field advantage in terms of, I'm sure you guys are aware, home field advantage make a big difference in terms of the fans making noise.
Oh, and Detroit's fans have been known to make a ton of noise, so
to the point that the offensive line can't hear the quarterback. Which that's why they have silent snap counts. But that's an easy way to be offsides and have a false start. And this is another reason why we tend not to talk sports on this show, is because not everyone watches sports. And
well, I'm a Lions fan, so we will be talking about the Lions.
They've had a good season. And
they don't have to play this week. They got home field advantage for as long as they keep winning in the playoffs.
And someone almost just broke Barry Sanders' record. Barry Sanders, right? He was the Lions guy, right?
Yep.
And someone almost broke his single season rushing record, but couldn't quite do it. And I was like, it would have been cool to see it be broken, but
Barry Sanders was at that game too.
Oh, that's awesome. He was one of the greatest of all time.
Yeah.
I loved watching him take that ball and just disappear. No one could get their hands on him. And then he left football because he, retired. And the Lions just like didn't win a game for like 5 years.
Well, we kept taking Patriots coaches and trying to make something out of them. So
Yeah. Well, it was just funny because I was just going to bring up the Patriots. How as soon as Brady and Gronkowski left, the Patriots can't win a game. They have the second worst record they've ever had this
yeah.
season. But you saying they were taking Patriots players over at the Lions. The Patriots just traded their 4th round draft pick for Mike Tomlinson, the Steelers head coach.
So Tomlinson's going to be the Patriots coach.
Yeah, the Patriots fired their head coach after 1 season, and we talked about this.
I think that's wrong. You got to give a head coach more than 1 season to get their shit together.
Well, this was a mistake we brought up when it happened because he was talking about like DEI and all this other crap on the football field. And we're like, no, anyway you're gonna do this crap, it's not on the sports field or on the fire department, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Well, shit, if we're going to talk about DEI in sports, then how come the Boston Celtics isn't half women? And maybe, or even if you want to say it has to reflect the population, where are the Asian players on the Boston Celtics? Because Boston has a massive Asian population and Irish too. And yeah, there are a bunch of white dudes on the Celtics, but not that many. I've been following basketball since Larry Bird played. He was one of the greats too, and I don't know why Jordan gets all the credit at the same time. Bird had more points than Jordan did, but I don't know. It should be it's Tomlin. I'm sorry, I thought it was Tomlinson.
Yeah.
Well, Jordan got more championships than anybody combined.
Yeah, more championships. I wouldn't say combined because the Celtics won. Geez, if you go up into the Boston Garden, there's banners hanging everywhere from late '60s into the mid '80s of them just winning over and over and over again. When they had not Jordan, they had Parrish and McHale and
Yeah, but
Bird.
he picked up Bird was by himself. Jordan picked up a great team. You got Dennis Rodman, Scottie Pippen.
Bird had McHale and Parrish on his team.
By some reason, I don't know nobody for the Celtics. I don't watch basketball, and I still know who Jordan and Dennis Rodman is.
Right.
Just because he's just.
There was a Nintendo game that you could get. It was called Jordan versus Bird. It was awesome. But the white guy got forgotten in the history books of basketball, and in case everyone doesn't know, basketball was actually created in Springfield, Massachusetts. Poor white folks playing with a.
Is that where the Basketball Hall of Fame is?
I don't know, honestly. It could well be, but I don't know.
There is a Hall of Fame in Springfield, so.
Oh, there you go then. And speaking of Hall of Fames, they were trying to rename the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and they're like, no, that's not happening.
What did they name it to?
Someone brought Hip Hop Hall of Fame and something else because they're doing all music now, not just like rock. But that's neither here nor there.
I don't know. It's what's the name of the Toys Award show? Like Toys Hall of Fames, and like eventually all the toys gonna get in there. Like, what's the point of this thing?
Yeah.
Hold on. I'll be back.
Brian's got. Oh, he's typing in leftovers. Simone Sanders. I don't know the name, but I'm thinking she must be MSNBC. Yep, yeah, obviously. Simone Sanders Townsend said on Sunday that Joe Biden is great mentally and Trump is not.
What the hell does that even mean?
Well, they're saying Trump is insane. He shouldn't be president. It's like, Joe, we all watched the debate. That's why Joe
you
dropped
said
out
he
of the
was
race.
sleeping during the President Carter's funeral ceremony. I didn't watch any of the ceremony, but
I didn't either. No disrespect to President Carter, but like I just didn't care enough. Like, the guy was literally 100 years old. They wheeled him out for his COVID vaccine or whatever it was to make
They
a
wheel
big
him
deal
out
out of
for
it.
the vote for Kamala too.
Oh, that's right. That's right. It was the vote for Kamal. They wheeled him out to show that he's voting for Harris, and it's like,
Yeah.
the guy isn't even conscious. He's on a fucking stretcher, and he's going to vote. Like, isn't this why we have mail-in votes? Like, this is one of the exceptions that even Republicans say, yeah, okay, that guy can mail in his vote.
Jimmy Carrey.
Yeah.
Guapo takes off his headset to go get another beer, comes back and hears that. He's like, oh, it must be talking about Jimmy Carter.
Yeah. Dude, I think he was dead like 6 months ago.
Yeah. Well, I think Joe Biden's dead. I think they've been
They got a body double.
Either that or they're doing weekend at Biden's, Oh,
You guys saw you guys saw the funeral?
No, I didn't watch any of it. I didn't have the day
No.
off. I had to work that day.
No, like the highlights where this Trump guy sitting next to Obama and Kamala watching
Well, I heard Obama and Trump spoke for quite a bit.
Oh yeah, Kamala was in front of them. She looking behind like this motherfuckers.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we were talking about how Obama didn't bring his wife. Joe fell asleep and Jill had to like nudge him awake. Oh my goodness. All right. Where are we? Oh, here we go. Okay, so I think we talked about this, how Biden was going to ban the drilling for oil offshore.
Yeah, and he used a law that's been put in place for years that nobody's ever done anything with to protect it, to make it more difficult so that Trump just can't come in and do an executive order to wipe this away like Biden did when he came in office.
Well, yeah, now that you say that, when Biden took office, he did 17 executive orders on day one, which is a record, right?
It's not as big of a record as what he did when he commuted everybody's sentences.
True, but Trump is talking about doing 100 executive orders on day one. And the problem with executive orders is
they're only good for while you're in office.
Yeah, the next guy
as soon as your opposition gets elected, they can be wiped out just as easy as you put them in place.
Yeah, exactly the same exact way. But it looks like Biden is making every effort to not just fuck his own party, but to tank everything that Trump is looking to do while in office.
Yeah.
I just hope everyone understands that the cost of every good is going to go up if we can't go find more oil.
Well, it's not in here, I don't think, but I just saw an article earlier tonight where Trump said the windmills are history on the coast. He's not allowing them to be built off the coast of Virginia anymore.
It's good because Massachusetts, the residents were all excited about it because they're going to be over the horizon. You won't see them now.
But you can see them.
Yeah, and the rich people in like Martha's Vineyard and on Cape Cod, and then you got P-Town in the tip of Cape Cod, which is a very gay community. It's kind of famous for that. It's as gay as Fire Island in New York, except
like Key West.
Yeah, and they're all complaining about like these giant wind turbines that are ruining their ocean view, and it's like you guys voted to put these fuckers in place, and Biden was talking about how this drilling is going to like affect the sea life. He's worried about a particular whale that's going to go extinct. These windmills create sound, sonar basically, from spinning in the ocean, and it's driving the whales nuts. It's actually driving them away out further into the ocean. And I'm sure you're aware, sonar travels a long way through water.
Oh, yeah. All sound travels a lot through water.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, sound and water is sonar. And Trump brought this up, and he was called nuts. It's like, no, but this is really happening. But anything that Trump says, they automatically have to come out and take the opposite side, an adversarial position, which is why I'm waiting for Trump to come out in favor of oxygen.
That'd be awesome. Wish he would.
It would be hilarious, and you know it. Watch Rachel Maddow be like, we need to ban oxygen now. And this one here gets me. They're saying he's going to quote, Biden's going to quote, ban cigarettes. But he wants
you got to read the article.
Yes, it's reducing the nicotine to almost zero.
Which means everybody's got to come out with new brands of cigarettes.
Well,
You
not
can't
just
have
that.
your Marlboro Reds anymore. They're going to have to come out with a Marlboro Ultra Light or whatever they're going to call them,
So now
And
your
they're
average
going to have to
smoker
go
is
through the whole FDA process again, the testing phases. Sounds like a money-making scheme for the federal government.
well, yeah, and then the price of cigarettes is going to go up to cover the cost of all of this testing and development. And your average smoker, if you cut down the nicotine in their smokes, they're just going to smoke more cigarettes, right?
Yeah.
Or switch to smokeless tobacco, which is even worse for you. I mean, I guess you can live without a job but not lungs.
Or you can go to the black market to get your cigarettes.
Exactly. It's going to turn just like what weed used to be, with everyone buying the grass illegally instead of walking in somewhere that it's where you know what you're buying. Do you think that's going to happen? Do you think this is going to go
No,
through?
I think Trump's going to figure out a way to overturn this too.
I don't know. They banned flavored cigarettes, which really upset the black community in urban areas.
They
And I know
only
that
did that in
sounds
Massachusetts.
that was only mass.
You can still
Yeah.
get Newports in Virginia.
Okay, yeah. So mass, you can't get menthol cigarettes.
Mm.
You can definitely still
And
get menthols in Virginia.
yeah, it's which is hilarious because you can't get a menthol cigarette because it's got flavoring in it. I guess that's marketing to kids, but you can buy fucking cherry gummy bears full of pot. Like that's not marketing to kids.
No, not at all.
And it's funny, I brought that up when I was security at the pot shop, and they're like, "Stop saying that shit out loud. Someone's gonna hear you and ban it." Yeah, my heat kicked on again. I got another hum in my headphones. That's crazy. I wonder what kind of weird interference is coming through. Oh, it's probably the coil spinning creating an EMF that's coming into my wire.
Mm.
All right. Anyway, while we're still talking about Joe, they're looking to transfer 11 of these Gitmo prisoners to Oman.
Yeah. I just
It-
received a snow alert.
Uh-oh. What?
The snow will be light.
Mm.
It's funny. The bottom left corner of my screen, I have 3 weather alerts blinking. Wait for me to read them. Well, like I said, I have like 20 inches of snow right now, and it's it's the perfect snow for skiing.
Until you're doing some cross country skiing in your property.
I got a big slope on my property, and I would ski down, but I couldn't get back up without having to climb back up, and I would nail a tree.
You know what you need to have? Like a little winch.
I actually brought that up to the wife. I was like, we should set up remember the
a pulley system.
Did you guys ski at all?
Yeah, I have in the past.
Okay, so you remember what the J bars are?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a rope around a pulley and a motor, and you put this bar behind your back, and it pushes you up the hill.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, that'd be cool. That'd be easy to do. But there's too many trees. It's not safe. I wouldn't even go down on a sled in that backyard until I clear it out some more.
But yeah, I think the way Biden's getting rid of these prisoners, he's just trying to make it harder and harder to keep the place open by having so few people in there. So,
What, Guantanamo Bay?
Yeah, we talked about this on the last show too. So,
well, you know what?
Last show was different people, but this time it's Oman. So,
you know what we need to do? Open Guantanamo Bay in Greenland.
Well, we don't own Greenland yet.
No, yet. But I said we still got a base over there. But
we got bases all over the world.
But if we open a base over there and the prisoner escaped, where are you gonna go?
The seed vault.
Yeah. Nobody gonna.
I didn't even think that existed until we talked about it on the show.
I heard about there's a base over there, but
yeah, we've talked about the seed vault on the show because they talked about it on that show about the last Navy ship. Where the
last ship.
Yeah,
what a terrible show that was.
It started out good.
It did. I tried to watch it, then it just got so terrible. I was like, I'm done. I can't watch this garbage. Just like Under the Dome. Did you watch that?
Yeah. Yep. You sucked me into that show.
It was fun for like 3 seasons, and you're like, this is getting ridiculous. But yeah, the seed vault's a cool idea. If an area is ravaged by natural disaster or war, we can replace their crops with the seeds we have, so it doesn't go extinct. I think that's great. And like almost the entire world is involved in this seed vault that we have up in Greenland. Putting politics aside, like let's keep this stuff forever, which is awesome. But you can't just get into the seed vault. You can't just like walk in the front door. There's mad security there, and it's frozen tundra. Lots of oil in Greenland, though.
That's another reason why Trump wants to own it.
Yeah, and here's the best part: does anyone know what Greenland is?
No. It's further north than Iceland. I know that.
Well, yes, which is funny because Greenland is the frozen one. Iceland is beautiful and green.
Right.
Greenland's basically off the coast of Canada. It's the largest island on the planet if you don't count Australia because it's a continent.
I think it's just the image, but it's not that big.
Well, there's only 55,000 people on it. There's a lot of open spaces.
Well, it does look bigger on a map than it really is because of the curvature of the Earth.
Yeah,
but it's still a massive island. Islands don't typically get that big, you know.
Australia.
Exactly. Australia.
Australia's a continent.
Which I would still call an island, but I guess no one else does. Because I guess if you're gonna say that, then North America.
Dude, that's like the Arctic Circle, dude. Like literally on top of. If you look at the Wikipedia, the map.
He just looked it up.
It's on top of Canada. Like
it's frozen tundra. It really is. Yeah, and you were right, Brian. It is Danish, but they have autonomy. So
they get like $1 billion grant from Denmark every year. That's the only reason why the people are able to sustain themselves on Greenland is because of the subsidies they're getting from Greenland. Well, I know from a personal experience that we subsidize Puerto Rico, we subsidize Guam, we subsidize several other territories in the United States. So why can't we subsidize Greenland?
We wouldn't need to. Actually, the funny thing is that we keep hearing, "Oh, Greenland has no interest in being American." It's like, first of all, the people in Greenland never said that.
No,
they would welcome us with open arms. The Danes are saying that we won't give it up. So I bet if we went there and started drilling for oil, we would make everyone who lived there tons of money.
Yeah.
Yes, they would all be rich.
Yeah.
So it's the size of India, almost cover India.
India is huge.
Yeah, 1/3 of Australia, and is all the way from Texas, like farther south, a little bit south of Texas. What's the name of the southern point of Texas? Up to the Canada border. That's how long it is.
Oh, geez, that place is huge.
That's huge.
Yeah, there's a little map here to show you.
There you go. So yeah, it does look bigger on a map, but
4.2 times smaller than the United States. So
that always drives me nuts. 4.2 times smaller. How?
Roughly the size of Democratic Republic of Congo.
Jeez. Okay.
Yeah, Congo is big too.
Yeah, the United States is enormous, and a lot of people don't realize that.
You can fit 2-3 times in Australia. Okay, yeah. So yeah, it's a big chunk of island.
Well, here you see, a lot of natural resources there. But you see where Joe Biden has come out, patting himself on the back for the drop in illegal border crossings.
You mean because Trump is about to take office and is going to send all these people back anyway? Yeah. The border crossings are down, and it's like, okay, they're down from last year. They're still up from Trump.
Yeah.
There you go. And the reason why they're down is because these guys realize I'm not going to make the trek up there just to be turned around and go all the way back, And this is interesting. Washington Examiner did a poll, and Biden was graded poor.
Well, they're not the only ones that did polls. I mean, Gallup did a poll. Rasmussen Reports did a poll.
Oh yeah, a whole bunch of them did, and really, the Washington Examiner was basically reporting on all of these polls.
And Gallup
they compare-
basically came out and said that he's just as bad as Nixon was.
Which, I mean, was Nixon really that bad?
No, he wasn't. He just got caught up in his own narcissism and allowed
Well, they
stupid
made
things to happen under his watch.
the Watergate Hotel.
Yeah,
That was the big thing, right?
yeah.
Wiretapping a hotel. Didn't Obama wiretap the entire fucking country?
Yeah.
With because of the Patriot Act, he had the Homeland Security doing it, NSA and all them. I mean, so Nixon is considered one of the worst presidents in history because of this. And then Obama went and expanded nationwide, and he's still considered one of the greatest ever.
Yeah.
Brian, who would you put as the worst United States president in your lifetime?
Joe Biden.
What about in history?
Joe Biden.
Really? I might put FDR up there, and I know that's controversial, but what did FDR really do?
He served 3 terms.
He did serve 3 terms, and he was the reason why they did the 2-term limit thing.
Then wasn't he the New Deal guy?
Yeah.
No,
The poverty.
The Great Society or whatever it was, to fight poverty, but that it just led people to being led to the black population being stuck on welfare and single motherhood. It didn't help people at all. It just made people dependent upon the government, which I believe it wasn't him. Who was the one who said we can keep these ends voting Democrat?
FDR.
It was FDR who said that. We can keep these ends voting Democrat for 100
was,
years.
No, wasn't that? No, the one after Nixon. I mean, Kennedy.
Kennedy was after Nixon.
No. The one that got shot after he took
JFK?
No, JFK after Kennedy. Who took over after JFK?
Lyndon Johnson.
Lyndon Johnson is the one that said that.
There you go. Yeah, keep them dependent upon the government. They'll just keep voting for more benefits. And that's exactly what the Democrats are still doing today, is guaranteeing free shit for everybody and trying to buy votes.
Yeah.
Which the argument about bringing in these illegal migrants is that we need them to do these jobs for less money than we could pay an American citizen. But the problem is, once these folks have children, they're going to be American citizens.
Well, Trump wants to get rid of that.
Well, then we're going to have to import more illegal migrants to do these jobs for illegal wages.
We're one of the few countries that once you have a child born in your country, everybody gets automatic citizenship. So,
well, the parents don't necessarily get citizenship, but the child does.
Not in most countries.
No. Well, here's the thing: is if you give it a good read, was it the 14th? I'm not sure which amendment it is now. But if you give it a good read, it doesn't actually say you're a citizen necessarily for being born on the soil. That's just the way it's been interpreted.
Right.
I'd have to pull it up and read it again. It's been a long time since I've gone through the entire Bill of Rights and amendments.
You used to have it in your wallet.
Yeah, I have a copy of it upstairs too. The entire Constitution and all that stuff. And Declaration of Independence. All right. Well, the judge is not allowing these J6 rioters to attend Trump's inauguration.
Yeah, he's on probation, and he asked permission to leave the area he lives in California to go to the inauguration, and they denied it.
Yeah, that doesn't bother me. You're on probation. You're not allowed to leave the state. I get it. You know, especially because the reason why you're on probation was the last time this happened. You know? I mean, the guy could have got a worse sentence like a whole bunch of other people did from the January 6th riot.
But this one's a great one here. The View, everybody's Sonny Hostin, is now comparing January 6th to the Holocaust.
So how many millions of Jews were killed on January 6th?
None. Nobody. Only one person was killed on January 6th.
Yes, and it was what's her name? I can't remember her name. that's gonna drive me nuts now. And well, she was an Air Force vet,
Yes.
and she was one of the protesters / rioters.
Yes.
And the cops like, oh, I thought she was gonna get in. The window that he shot her through wasn't big enough for a human to fit through. It was one of those windows next to a door. You would see it like in a high school or something, you know? It's like 8 inches wide by like 2 feet tall. Shot her through the throat and killed her. But yeah, she compared it to the Holocaust and slavery. It's like, Jesus Christ. Do you have any? Is she saying that January 6th was
Ashley
bad?
Babbitt. Ashley Babbitt.
But that's
Within
just saying the
36
Holocaust.
hours, 5 people died. 1 was shot by Capitol Police, another died of a drug overdose, and 3 died of natural causes.
Yes, yes. And 1 guy was arrested for having a gun. And someone said something about like 5 police officers. Oh, there we go. Well, we'll get to that in a second, actually. Scott Jennings, he's the
only the left is still trying to hang on to this January 6th insurrection theme. You know, everybody else in the country has moved on from it.
That's exactly what Scott Jennings said, and the CNN panel lost their minds over it. It's like it was a riot. Yeah, you're right. That's bad. People should go to prison.
Isn't Scott Jennings the token conservative on CNN?
Yes, and he's pissing off everyone on that panel every time, and it's hilarious because he brings up actual facts. Like, well, I don't like what you said. But Amy Klobuchar, is it?
Yes.
Yeah, Klobuchar. She was hit with a community note on X. She claimed about all the officers that were killed and how it's just sick on January 6th. No police officers died on January 6th
No.
because of this riot. 1 guy had a stroke the next day, and they're saying
I
that's
think 1 had a
related.
heart attack too, or something like that. You know.
Yeah, and within a week, like 4 of them committed suicide.
Yeah.
And you say, well, you know, PTSD from this shit. Well, then, bitch, if you're gonna claim that shit, then let's have a look at what happened during the summer of love after the
BLM riots.
Yeah, during these BLM riots, and how many people actually died during that because of that. It's just
that didn't happen though. That didn't really happen. That's a figment of our imagination.
We all watched this shit happen, man. What's her name there? Harris was bailing these guys out of jail for all this crap. You know what I mean? When it was happening, we had 2 areas in the United States declare independence from the United States,
and the local governments let them do it forever, for months. Part of Seattle you couldn't get to for months.
And remember, these riots were the voices of the unheard until the right wing did the same thing. Then all of a sudden it was insurrection.
Right.
Yeah. I think declaring independence is a bigger thing than saying, hey, I don't like the way you guys just did this shit.
Yeah. Most definitely.
But Meta, the Facebook platform with Instagram is on that.
Yep.
And however many other things that
they're getting rid of their fact checkers.
They're getting rid of the fact checkers and replacing it with community notes like X has.
Yep.
I think this is a good idea, and it's hilarious because
they were paying the fact checkers.
Well, and
now they're out of a job.
They were all former CNN panelists.
Oh yeah, they were very unbiased fact checkers.
And it was funny.
Coming from CNN, CNN's been known for their fair and balanced reporting for quite a while now.
Yes. Well, Joy Reid, not Joy Behar. Joy Reid was saying, like, well, what do you want to put out there if you don't want fact checkers? You know, like what kind of misinformation do you want to be able to put out? And it's like, well, maybe we're worried about the Hunter Biden laptop shit being suppressed, being told it's misinformation. I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff that got shut down on social media because of this misinformation crap that all turned out to be true. That would have swayed, that everyone came out and said would have swayed the election.
Yeah.
But, my goodness. Oh, Jesus Christ. I just opened something instead of closing something.
Well, there's no tab for leftovers because I don't know how to create tabs. So
it's under heading. Oh, geez. Where did it go? Oh, okay. It's under horror. That's why. There we go. All right. Well, anything here in leftovers you want to talk about? No.
Well, the Biden White House just put out a picture of snow in D.C.
What?
and the ex-users had jokes
About
because they said this
Hunter
was the
Biden's
first.
cocaine.
Yeah, they were saying this is the first time they've had snow since President Biden was in office. Like, no, it's not. Then people are like, "Is Hunter living in the White House now?"
Right. Oh my God. There's something in here that I saw that. Oh, Kevin O'Leary from Shark Tank, Mr. Wonderful,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
says that he's near a deal to buy TikTok.
Nice.
He said he's gonna need Trump's help with it.
Well, Trump doesn't want to ban TikTok. A lot of people do want to ban TikTok, which is funny because Trump was the one who started this whole ban TikTok thing.
Yeah, somewhere along the way, somebody changed his mind.
Yeah. Well, if Kevin O'Leary is going to buy it, maybe this could work out the same way. I'm thinking about buying stock, just like I did with Twitter right before Elon Musk bought it. I made a ton
Can you
of
buy
money off
TikTok
that deal.
stock?
I
It's
don't
by a
know,
Chinese company. I don't think it's on the stock market.
It's not. It might not be on the stock market, but it's not entirely Chinese because the TikTok ban. They're saying that they have to divest all of Chinese ownership. So basically, they would have to force China or to sell off their share. So if I can, I'm gonna have a look because if he's gonna buy this, I'm real tempted to try to get a piece of it first. So when he buys
TikTok
it, I
is
make money.
privately held company and therefore does not have a public stock price.
That's too bad. That would have been a good way to make some money. America's mayor has been held in contempt in this defamation case for not turning over all of his paperwork that he was told to. $148 million defamation judgment. It's a lot of money. So, yeah, Giuliani, by the way, anyone who's doesn't know America's mayor, he's the one who cleaned up New York City, and then when he left, they turned it back into shit.
Yeah.
Man, his career just turned to garbage when he got attached to Trump, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what I think of the stop and frisk thing he did, but it actually did reduce crime.
Yeah, it did. And
Anyway.
you saw where that Nazi tattoo was at the Jimmy Carter funeral.
Hegseth?
Yeah.
Isn't it a Christian tattoo of a bunch of crosses on his chest?
Yes.
This is what gets me. These folks see something they don't understand. That's Nazi stuff. I've actually had people ask me if this tattoo on my hand is some Nazi shit. And I'm like, no, it's actually my rating badge from the United States Navy. I was like, that's a carpenter square, a mall, and a fire act. Not a swastika. I don't even know how you would see swastika.
I don't see swastika there. Yeah.
I don't know what it is. It must be Nazi. It's like, run what the fuck a Nazi is for real. They're calling everyone Nazis as they're saying burn Israel to the ground and kill the Jews. I'm like, and then you got what's her name there, Hostin or whatever, comparing January 6th to the Holocaust.
Right. There's no comparison.
What? How could you possibly downplay what actually happened like that and make it nothing? You know. Maybe they should go check out this Auschwitz museum and have a look themselves. Oh my God.
They're idiots.
Anyway, yes.
How long do you think the View is going to be on the air after Trump comes back in office? I do think that Whoopi's history on the show. I think several others are gone from the show. I just think they're losing viewers, you know?
I don't know, man. You still have these people with Trump derangement syndrome. They're going to watch this crap because they want to hear someone hate Trump.
They go to MSNBC, not ABC.
Yeah,
Remember, this is This is the channel that paid out the with George Stephanopoulos. They paid out millions of dollars in defamation lawsuit.
Yeah, and The View twice has had to release statements like, "We were wrong. We made this stuff up. This is not true at all."
Right.
One of them was in regards to Hegseth, and the other one was it Gates?
I think so. Yeah.
Because they called both of them rapists.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh yeah, we can't just call people rapists. My bad." It's like, yeah, maybe
no,
you
can't.
know what the hell you're talking.
Yeah.
Which is, and that's the same thing that happened with Stephanopoulos too, right? He called Trump a rapist, and like that's not what happened. You guys need to pay attention.
Yeah.
Like, well, how am I supposed to get this right? You're the fucking reporter. This
but
is your
he's
job.
he's not a reporter. He's just reading off the teleprompter. His producers fucked him over on that.
Exactly, and that's because there hasn't been real journalism in years. I still follow John Stossel online.
Okay.
He still does investigative reports.
I didn't know he was still alive.
Oh, he's still doing
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, I follow him on YouTube. He still puts out some great stuff.
Okay.
Okay, last week, remember we talked about that plane that had a dude? They found a dead body in the wheel well of the jet.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
A plane just landed in Florida with 2 bodies in the landing gear.
It came from Jamaica.
Well, were they trying to smuggle themselves into the country?
No idea, but apparently it flew from Jamaica to JFK and JFK to Florida. And JFK did their investigation, said there's no way in hell these people got through security here. So they traced it back to Jamaica.
How are they getting into the landing gear? Like, are they literally just running up to the plane when it's on the ground and climbing up on it?
I guess that seems kind of like suicide to me.
It is suicide. You're gonna first you're gonna suffocate once that thing gets up high enough in the air,
or freeze to death,
and then you're gonna freeze into a solid rock because there's no air pressure and it's freezing cold.
So it had been both the Kingston, Jamaica, and Salt Lake City earlier in the day. I would.
Yeah,
Salt Lake. If they didn't die from suffocating or from freezing in the air, they went to Salt Lake City. It's not warm in Salt Lake City right now either.
Listen, that winter storm Blair really jacked up a lot of this country. I was all the way out in Wichita and Virginia at the same time. I was like, "Jeez, that's a big storm." I mean, it snowed for a week straight here.
They're talking about us getting more. We went over 1,000 days without snow in the Hampton Roads area here in Virginia, and we're going on our second snowstorm tonight in a week, and they're saying we might get another one next week.
It's funny. I brought that up to the wife. I mentioned the snow in Virginia. She's like, "So it snows in Virginia sometimes." Like, it hasn't snowed in Virginia since you last time you saw snow in Virginia.
Exactly. Yeah.
She's like, "Really?" I'm like,
"Yeah,
yes.
yeah."
And
I don't even know if I own a snow shovel anymore. So.
I still got mine.
My fucking snowblower broke, dude.
You should have checked it before this winter.
Oh no, I was using it, and it's my own fault. I didn't clean out the front end after I was done using it, and it froze into a block of ice. So I started it up no problem. Went to turn the impeller on, and
it broke.
The shear pins didn't break. The fucking shaft broke that spins the whole thing.
Damn. Well, good thing you got a welding set up.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna go out in my garage in the middle of winter. You know what I mean? I'm just gonna take my shovel out every handful of hours, shovel out enough to get the vehicle out. You know. And I got
learn your lesson not to do this shit again.
Yeah. And I got a flat tire on my pickup truck. Don't know how that happened.
I mean, just get soap and water, find out if it's a hole on it.
Oh no, it's off the rim now because yeah, I got it sitting. I'm terrified to change the tire though on ice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just get a block of wood. I mean, a piece of wood.
Yeah,
I mean, you got like a regular jack.
Chain it.
You got a Widowmaker.
Well, I got a hydraulic floor jack and I got jack stands, but I still don't want something goofy to happen with the ice and have it slip.
We'll put wedges on each tire.
Yeah. Well, and here's my big problem: is the spare tire under the bed is stock. Like it came from the factory in 2012, and the sucker is rusted together. I can't get the spare tire down. So I'm gonna,
WD-40.
Yeah.
oh, fuck that. I'm
TV
taking
blaster.
I'm taking the tire off. I'm putting it in the minivan, bringing it to the local shop, having them change the tire, putting it back on the truck, then driving out to get the other 4 tires changed, and let some fucking mechanic with a lift deal with getting that sucker down.
Okay.
You know?
You got a garage?
I do. I have a garage.
You
but
should probably look into portable lift and stuff. You can move in and out.
yeah,
That'd be
maybe.
better.
But they're not cheap. Typically, I trust jack stands enough,
Mm.
you know, but I don't want to drive it into the garage on the rim.
No.
Oh
that's
no,
bad.
no. But I'm saying like you could buy your own like portable lift and stuff, and like
Shit, I should go ahead and drop 10 grand to buy a nice one like you would have in a shop.
Well, you do have the skills to work on vehicles, so
I went to school for it.
exactly. You
Uh,
got the certificate and everything.
Not just a certificate. I got an actual associate's degree.
See?
Yeah, I didn't
You
know
are
you could get
ASE
those.
certified.
I am ASE certified. I'm AWS certified for welding too, which that was what I wanted to do was custom builds for like vehicles, like build off-road trucks or like race cars. And then that just never happened. It turned out there was no money. People weren't spending money doing that kind of stuff at the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it would have been a ton of fun to build like a rock climber, you know? Separate note concerning wads of money. Property is super cheap out here in West Virginia.
You're buying the land.
I sent you that link to that one piece of land. It was 98 acres for $95,000. Right now, West Virginia is the most moved into state.
Thought it
And
was
land-
Texas.
you better hope no California people move in.
Oh, they're moving.
Well, it's funny because I mentioned to the wife this, and she's like, "Yeah, maybe we should buy it up to keep people from moving in." And I was like, or wait 5 years, 10 years, turn around and sell it to these people for 3 times as much.
Yeah.
But I was actually thinking buying up one of these big plots of land and leasing it out to hunters. Let people go hunting on my properties, pay me $10 for the use of my land, you know?
Get on the contract soon.
Well, that's a lot easier because I want to eventually build an ATV park. But that's a whole bunch of permitting and tearing trees down and making trails and all sorts of stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Versus, go hunting on my property, no problem. And people here are pretty good about not going on people's property without permission. So like they would actually contact me and be like, hey, here's my $10. I'm gonna go hunting. All right. Separate note.
No.
Yale was having a class to analyze whether or not black and white women can be friends.
I shared this article.
Oh my god, they're wasting money on this shit. No wonder.
Yes, they are.
Oh.
They don't consider it a waste of money. They consider it an investment.
I was like, let me ask you this: if it's an investment, they need to invest on themselves. See how that works. What's the payout?
Well, this is why these fucking kids coming out of school can't do jack shit.
Yeah.
They're studying whether or not black and white people can be friends. I don't know. And it says women. So, I mean, maybe there's something to that because women are not good at being friends with other women. I don't know if you've noticed this.
Because it's primitive.
Well, as I mentioned to Brian before we got started, I read this article from this professor. Split the students up into groups saying, come up with an ambitious project and discuss how you would implement it or whatever.
Right.
There's one group said that they want to colonize the moon.
Yep.
And the professor came by and was like, well, what about blowing up the moon? Because like in 1990, some guy suggested that, how it would benefit the earth in certain ways. And this student looks, I know we would flood half the planet, I think.
Yeah.
This one woman student looks at him and said, but then there wouldn't be night anymore. And it's like, you're in college. You don't understand how night and day work?
No, she doesn't.
And not only are we paying off these people's student debts because they can't afford it, which obviously they can't afford it. They think that the moon makes nighttime.
Yeah.
These idiots are voting. It hurts my head.
Exactly.
I'm sorry. You know what? They need to. We need to. The government stop. Listen, why the government is in the business of rendering money? You know, it should not be.
Well, that's the thing is they didn't used to. It used to be private banks, and as soon as the
Yes,
federal government got involved, the banks were like, well, why am I going to take the risk if
I'm
the federal
surprised
government's
Trump is not talking about this shit. Like, you need to eliminate this fucking money borrowing.
well, this that blows my mind too. Is they're saying stuff like, "Oh, well, these are predatory loans. We need to pay off these kids' debts." You know, it's like, first of all,
Really?
the government was the one who handed out these loans. So if it's predatory, it's the government's fault. Second of all, if it's such a bad problem that we need to pay
Mhm.
off these debts, stop lending money. They're still doing it. It's just, why should the guy who didn't go to school or paid for a school pay for someone else's school that they can't pay for? Like, okay, you went to school and studied gender studies, and now you're working at Starbucks, and I'm supposed to pay off your degree?
Yep.
Ludicrous. Oh, all right. I don't know if there's anything left in here I really want to talk about. Some Homeland Security guys got arrested in Utah for selling illicit drugs that they seized. Oh, this lesbian couple, Rachel Stevens and Kayla Jones.
Oh,
One of these two women, yeah, Guapo shared this. One of these two women
yeah.
has a 5-year-old, and they Paul Pelosi'd the kid.
Yeah,
I
that's
was
crazy.
fucking furious about this shit, dude.
Yeah, beat the kid with a hammer, punched and kicked him, just kicked him in the groin, just abused this kid to the point of seizures and 2 strokes.
You know,
These women, the biggest penalty you can give them, I say.
I was talking to my mother about UK, the grooming gang and shit like that.
Yeah, that's not in
And
here.
no, no, I don't know. But anyways, so I was talking to her about it, and I go like, people so messed up, because of different culture. And one thing she says pissed me off, like, yeah, man, like man, no, mom, everybody, men and women, like I could show you an article where this 2 women, lesbian, abused this 5-year-old kid. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
and she couldn't believe it. Like, no, everybody's fucking fucked up, not
Well, and
just
the problem
men.
is what happened in the UK is, well, first of all, the government covered up these they call them
Yeah,
grooming gangs. They're rape gangs.
yeah.
They're not grooming the kids, because grooming implies that you're getting these kids to think it's their decision to get into
Mhm.
sex work.
But
They're abducting children and raping them. They're
mhm,
literally cutting holes in these kids to have another orifice to fuck. Like
Crazy.
11-year-olds, and they're
mhm.
covering it up because they don't want it. They think this would screw up the multicultural system they have, and it would
No,
upset people. It's racist because they're Afghani folks doing it.
it's a fucking whole different culture. It's fucked up. Sorry, we cannot change the people. Send
Well,
them
that's the
back.
thing is you can't just bring two separate cultures together and say live together.
Yeah.
That's why you're supposed to have a melting pot where the best things float to the top and the garbage gets thrown out. You know what
And
I
even
mean?
if, let's suppose that even if this shit happened in Afghanistan, the elderly will take care of these fucking people and fucking kill them. You don't do this shit.
Yeah, no, exactly. And the kids, I mean, they were dousing
The
these kids in
tribe.
gasoline. They were
Yeah.
dousing these kids in gasoline, saying, if you even try to, next time we light you on fire, if you even complain.
Hmm.
Father found out what happened to his daughter, brought it to the police, and the police said, if you bring this up again, we're going to arrest you for racism and hate speech. It
Fucking
just, it,
UK need to go to hell. They need to.
yeah. Anyone who wants to see more about this, go ahead and look it up. The Telegraph released an
Mhm.
article about it. Um, what's his name there? Can't think of the guy's name. The English
Tommy
reporter,
Robertson.
Tommy Robinson.
Hmm.
Tommy Robinson spent has been to jail several times for trying to cover this news stuff. He can't even go back to his home country because of this. He'll be arrested right away.
Yeah.
But now
No,
it's
but
finally
yeah,
making
upset at me
news.
because I was telling about that shit, and my mom was like, "Oh, men do that." Like, no, like men and women abuse people. Everybody is using people.
And
And
again, it's not just random dudes in the United Kingdom. It's the Afghani
yeah,
migrants from
it's
from Afghanistan that are
it's
doing
actually
this.
probably it's not culture. It's just a gang. They're fucking perverts and stuff.
Yeah. All right.
But if the elderlies are covering this up, is because I don't know.
Well, they're saying is that they didn't want everyone to they didn't want to blow this multicultural thing that they've been pushing for so long. They don't want to admit that they completely failed.
Right.
Yeah, well, it,
You know,
it
it's
did.
racist. If we even point this out, it'd be considered racist. It's like you have to just accept it. It's like, no, you don't have to accept this shit. Just like that crazy broad that said you just have to accept having people grab your asses and squeeze in your chest on the subway because that's just the way it is. I'm like, no.
No, it's not.
If this ever happened in Boston, you get your ass whooped by everyone on that train car. Was it New York where that woman got raped on the train? Everyone just watched.
Philadelphia.
Oh, was it Philadelphia? My mistake. Yeah, everyone just watched. Like, I'm not getting involved because
Yeah.
God knows you might get arrested, like Daniel Penny. You know?
Yeah.
Any more of this stuff you guys want to talk about?
No, not really.
No.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, then I guess that's our show. Of course. There we go.
Hey, so question for you guys: do you think after this shit, California's gonna turn red and they're not gonna learn the lesson?
No, they're not going to listen. There's too
They're not
many
going to learn
dams
the
there.
lesson.
Mm,
And
okay.
on that topic, they drove out all of the insurance companies because they did nothing about the reservoir and everything. So
Yeah, so a
now
lot of the insurance, a lot of people don't have fire insurance right now.
yes,
Well,
so their house now they have to pay a mortgage for a house that burned down. But here's the problem: is the people that do have fire insurance, everyone in the nation's insurance is going to go up now to pay for this.
Yep.
So fuck you, because Gavin Newsom didn't give a shit to get his job done.
He blames it on the
All right, well.
locals.
Oh no, just recently.
Yeah, he said the locals will take care of it.
Hey, recently, just there's a video I was watching real quick. Is the fire chief is blaming the mayor now?
Yeah, yep. But yeah, Newsom. They asked Newsom what he's going to do, and he's like, "Oh, the locals will figure it out." It's like, so basically, you're on your own.
Yeah. Hey, how about that? California will figure it out.
Yeah,
No, they won't.
No, they won't.
That's
All
what
right,
I'm saying.
Brian,
I don't want to cover this shit.
let's pinch this turd off, Brian.
All right. I don't hear anything.
Oh, it's not. You don't hear it?
No.
Oh,
There
I've had
it
it
is.
playing. Let me turn the sound up. Maybe it's just too quiet for you then.
There we go.
My mistake. I had it playing in the background for a while there. All right, let's cut it off.
Okie dokie.